away with it, and then Bateman came in and pulled him off. But unfortunately, someone else came in and pulled Bateman off, so the two of them got to have the fight. So in this case, Bateman didn't cause the melee by coming in, and he didn't run in from a distance either. He was pretty much at the side of it when he came in. So I think that might be where the difference is on anywhere we have seen in the past where a player running in start from a distance and starting it.
Yeah.
Different matter, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't cross when I saw that, it didn't cross my mind that Bateman would be charged with anything, so I'm not surprised he hasn't been.
Yeah. Do you want to take us through the standings? I'm sure you'll enjoy these.
I absolutely do. St. Helens, the Mighty Saints, are the last 100% side, staying top with 5 out of 5 and the most points scored for and the fewest points scored against. I think it's only, is it 5 tries? 5 tries in 5 games or 4 tries in 5 games? And it's 5 tries in 5 games, I think, and only one of those hasn't come from a kick. But anyway, moving on. 2 points clear of Huddersfield, who are up to second, and Catalan third, who with Wigan falling to fourth on points difference, all of whom I think are on 8 points. Hull and Warrington have got 6 from 5. Hull KR and Salford are on 4. Wakefield had the 3-1 win sides with Leeds and Castleford, and Toulouse stay bottom and pointless, and I hope they are after this week, even though I love Toulouse, obviously. Stat line of the week, you've noticed Eloy Pelissier for his 65 tackles, which is quite extraordinary.
Yeah, we had a couple of 200 metres out there again this week, but we've been seeing that so commonly. We haven't seen a 65 tackles yet, I don't think, this year. I think that's a huge number, isn't it? It's a massive effort to get up and go again that many times.
It is a massive effort. Yeah, it is.
Who's your player of the week?
I'm going with Johnny Lomax because he was the difference maker in the Saints Warrington game. I loved everything he did in that game.
Yeah, I was torn between 2 players. Jake Connor, obviously outstanding, particularly the first half of that game. I plumped in the end for Ricky Latelli. I think he put in a match-winning performance that turned the match in the last 20 minutes of the match. It shouldn't be any more important than a match-winning performance in the first 20, like Jake Connor did, but it just felt like it was for me. So I went Ricky Latelli this week. Also, I gave it to Jake Connor a couple of weeks ago, so I'm sure we're back in the mix next
to be honest, I wouldn't have I'd be very happy to give it to Jake Connor, Ricky Latelli, or indeed Johnny Lomax as Saints. I think all 3 of them were superb this week and really turned the games for their teams.
In the predictions, I went 3 out of 6 last week. Sarah went 5 out of 6. I think Sarah maybe changed one of her picks there when she went on Super Brew.
Sneaky.
No, because the Super Brew was only 4 out of 6, so she did worse.
Oh, not sneaky.
Yeah. In terms of the host Super Brew, I hold on to top spot, but you're in second place. You've got the yellow cap. You had the best week this week. Sarah drops to third, and that's why I think Sarah must have changed one of them from the show pick. And Alan stays fourth. In terms of the main Super Brew, Saints fan John McNelly is top of the league there. Yellow cap this week, though, belongs to Nicky Nadin. So Phil was top last week. Nicky gets the yellow cap this week. The Nadins are going strong in the tipping league this year.
Yeah, they are.
And in the fantasy league, Simon Andrew Arthur holds on to the top spot, although his lead is down to just 28 points. With me, I had the best weekly score in our competition of 712, so I've risen to second place. And I had a look. I had the 3rd best weekly score of all fantasy league players this week, which isn't going to happen next week because of fucking Walmsley crying off. Anyway.
Sorry about that, Mark.
That's all things Super League and disciplinary covered. It's a good job we didn't have a big news story to talk about this week, isn't it? Because we had a lot to talk about in those 4 televised games. We're now... Thanks everyone for the fan reviews, though. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Really guided the conversation and gave us lots of interesting points to cover. We're now going to move on to other results where there's, again, quite a bit to cover. Other results time, and it was round 5 of the Challenge Cup, which the first of the 5 games and the first of the 4 televised games was the North Wales Crusaders versus Sheffield Eagles at Stadium Zipworld. It finished 50 points to 30 to Sheffield in a high-scoring affair.
It does, and Carsten gave us a comment. He said the Crusaders started well for 10 minutes, but the Eagles started to aim up after that with 50 points scored. Sheffield thought they could give up defence and allowed North Wales to score some nice tries. Mark Butler also gave us a view. Crusaders gave this a good lash. They scored before Sheffield tied their shoelaces, but this provoked a strong response from Sheffield. They had a lengthy period in each half where they set up camp in the Crusaders' half and accumulated points to flatten the home team's enterprise. They did the game a favour with a late red card to enable a dominant end by Crusaders, so the scoreline reflected what they put into the game. Nice review, Mark.
Yeah, I watched the first half, and North Wales did start well, but Sheffield ran away with it, and then I think I turned over to watch the first half of your women's game, which kind of went the same sort of way. Barrow 32, Workington 18. This one was on the BBC on Sunday. Dr. Bob Phillips was the first person to get in touch. This one.
Whoa. And he said, I'm glad I tuned into this. Muddy rugby with plenty of end-to-end excitement and inexplicable failure decisions, plus acrobatics and the best team try at 78 I've seen all year. I assume that's 78 minutes, Dr. Bob. Scoots says an even contest until Barrow hit another gear. Really enjoyable game. Some nice plays from both teams, with the final result not beyond doubt until quite close to the end, which I'm assuming is the same try.
Yeah, I only watched the second half of this game. The acrobatics was Jared Samet scored a try and did a backflip. You can find that to watch all over the place. I'm pretty sure that people have clipped that off. It was really impressive. But yeah, and then I can't remember if it was that try or if it was another try that he scored. But they did have a really good length of the field, ball going everywhere, absolute circus try that ended up with an offload just underneath the sticks for someone to put the ball down. But it was a really good play by Barrow. Workington were up at half time in this one, which was against the expectation of things. Barrow going really well without a loss this year. Workington near the bottom of the championship, so I think actually at the bottom of the championship. So yeah, turn up for the Bucks was on the cards, but Barrow just showed a bit of skill and class. They are a very entertaining side to watch. It was Batley 20, Featherstone 54. This one was on TV as well, but blew out to be a bit one-sided on the Sportsman, so kind of only half attention in the second half, I think, on that one. But well done, Fev. Whitehaven 38, York 12. Bit of a surprise. Don't know the context of the game, though, because it wasn't on TV, this one, but the last one was, although I didn't watch it because I have Premier Sports at the moment, I listened to it on the radio, Bradford versus Lee. It was 20 points to 16, and we did get a fan view on this one.
We did. Carsten says, well, that was a game of Neil Ormston's liking. Close, intense and exciting to the end, but the ref was very good in ignoring headshots on both sides. Not sure that's what the Rugby League's trying to do at the moment, Carsten. But anyway, it does sound like I followed this one on Twitter while I was watching something else. It did come across as being a pretty exciting game.
Yeah, well, Bradford took, I think, an 8-0 lead. They've got some good players, haven't they, there? In that Bradford side, and it seemed to all be coming together. But Lee only led the game for the first time, I think, in the 77th minute, with Nenny McDonald popping up, and he's going to be a dominant force at the championship level, close to the line. He's going to be hard to stop, and that proved to be the case here. Unlucky for Bradford, but well done to Lee.
Yeah.
Round 6 draw was done. Ties are going to take place on the weekend of the 25th to the 27th of March. David, both our teams were in the hat, along with 9 other Super League sides, with Toulouse opting out. So the draw was Catalans versus Featherstone, Whitehaven versus St Helens. That's been picked to be on the Sportsman, so that's going to be live on their YouTube channel on Saturday the 26th at 2 p.m. Warrington versus Wakefield. It's on TV twice in a row, these two teams. 2 weekends in a row, but Premier Sports have them 2 p.m. on the Sunday. Hull KR versus Lee. That's not on telly. I'm surprised. That would have been my second top pick for TV coverage behind Leeds Cast, that one.
I would have thought that would have been a good game too.
Yeah, I think Premier have ballsed up there by going for Warrington Wakefield personally. Wigan versus Salford. Premier have picked that one up. That's on the Friday night, 7:45 p.m. kickoff for that All Super League tie. Possibly the tie of the round two and battle lower end of Super League sides, Leeds versus Castleford, with a big rivalry from one side, certainly. That's on the BBC, Saturday 26th at 4:30 p.m. No surprises that one was pulled for the BBC.
Yeah.
Sheffield versus Hull FC. And then finally Barrow versus Huddersfield. The BBC want to be up at Barrow to watch the entertainers again. 4:30 p.m. on the Sunday, that one is. So what do you reckon to the draw?
Personally, I'm disappointed I won't be able to go up to Whitehaven because I'm going visiting my daughter that weekend. I'm very happy to be going visiting my daughter. I haven't seen her very often recently, so that'll be lovely. I'll have to watch it on the telly. Would have loved to have gone to Whitehaven. I always used to really like the first round of the Challenge Cup, first round proper as I call it, the Challenge Cup, when we had an opportunity to go to places like Whitehaven and York and so on and so forth. But there are so few teams now that get in to the, there's only you get 9 and then you get sort of half a dozen. You get the 12 Super League teams and 4.
There's 5, isn't there, non-Super League teams this year?
Toulouse. So 5 non-Super League sides getting in. Doesn't have quite the same romance for me as the old.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be good for the Super League teams coming around earlier.
Yeah, which is a shame, I think. But there you go. So I'm personally sad I won't be able to go to Whitehaven since we got a good draw there. That would have been exciting. I don't. Other than Leeds Castleford, possibly Warrington Wakefield, and I've liked seeing Hull Lee. I don't think there'll be too many surprises.
No, I mean Featherstone. This is their chance to test themselves out. Kind of similar for Lee as well, because both those two teams are going to be beating everyone that's part time around them in the Championship. I think there's a sniff of an upset in both of those games, but Catalans, as long as they treat it with respect, shouldn't have a problem. Hull KR, sometimes you don't know with them. I can't see Sheffield getting over Hull FC or Barrow getting over Huddersfield, but we shall see. But and obviously you've got the easiest draw playing against the lowest ranked side left in the competition. We are,
as befits our role as the champions, Mark.
Yep. Into the Women's Challenge Cup, where you're also the champions. It was round 1 there of the group systems that they have in place. On BBC Online, Barrow versus St Helens, it was 68-0 to Saints. It was kind of over and done at half time. There was a couple of lengthy injury delays in the first half that pushed the first half timing on quite late, so didn't get to watch any of the second half because I was watching the Cass Huddersfield game. It was Army 8, Warrington 50. In Group 2, it was Huddersfield 8, Leeds 38. This was played as a curtain raiser at the John Smiths, and Mark W got in touch, David.
Yes, indeed. He said, great to see the women's season kick off in the John Smiths. No big surprise with the result. The likes of Roach were a cut above the rest. But Hoyle looked good on her debut, and Stott had a strong game for us too.
Yeah, it was Lee Miners Rangers 72, Hull FC 0. In Group 3, Bradford 6, Wigan 44. Pleasing win for the Wigan ladies, that one, with I think 7 or 8 debutants in that side, and there's a couple of players who've drifted away from the squad who have been mainstays ever since we started, which is a shame. And Rachel Thompson, our leader, she's injured still, coming on the road back from recovery, so she wasn't involved. So good win for Wigan. Dewsbury Moor, they've stepped in, haven't they, in the last minute?
Yeah.
They had the unenviable task of going to one of the top sides, York, hosting one of the top sides, York, and they lost that game 78-0. But I'm sure there's more to come from the from the Dewsbury Moor side. And in Group 4, Castleford 0, Wakefield 32. Big turnaround there. Castleford